Hi, I'm Cheyenne and I'll be your host for today's episode of Lorong Product. Today we have with us Clare, the current President of NUS Product Club, to share with us her journey into and motivation behind joining NUS Product Club, as well as her experiences so far in product management. Clare, would you first like to introduce yourself and give us a quick overview of your journey so far in NUS Product Club and in product management?
So I'm Clare, I'm studying year 4 Information Systems now, and I'm the President of NUS Product Club, and also currently I'm a Product Management Intern at Rakuten Wiki. So my main job scope, I mainly cover content discovery. So content discovery is when the user is finding shows to watch. So you can think of it as like the recommendations, and also cover search, so like search bar. And for my journey into product management, I think it started off in my first internship. I was at Synapse doing project management. Then I think what really got me into PM was when I first joined NUS Product Club last year as a curriculum executive. Then afterwards I became the deputy head of curriculum, and then afterwards was president, so I've been here like ever since.
Could you share with us what motivated you to join Product Club?
So at that time, it was last year, I think around June, I was probably like 2 or 3 months into my first internship as a project manager. I kind of had an understanding that in tech you will have a role called PM. At that time, I don't know what the P stands for. I don't know whether it's project or product. So when I saw the listing, like the opening for like curriculum executive, because that time Product Club was new, so they were still recruiting. I was like, oh, this looks interesting. This looks like something I'm already doing in work. Why not I just try out and see like where this takes me and what I learn. So it's, I guess it's kind of like luck that I saw it in the first place. Then I just didn't really think much and I just kind of go for it. But I would say that I came in with a motive. I knew that the role exists, and I knew that it's something I wanted to pursue as a career, because I didn't really want to go down the software engineering route, which I think most of my batchmates do. I would say it's a combination of 2 factors, right? The first is I was lucky, I saw it. The second is I kind of want to try this out seriously, that's why I joined. So these are like my reasons for joining NUS Product Club.
Thanks for sharing. Actually, luck is one of the major reasons why I'm here as well, because I actually was first exposed to product management when I went for this career booster workshop. Yeah. And next, would you like to share with us why you joined curriculum division and later became the head of curriculum?
I think specifically curriculums because I wanted to learn about product management fundamentals, and I felt like maybe the other committees wouldn't really help in that, because I did see the JD, like curriculum, they do the workshops. That's why I joined curriculum. And to follow up, your next question is why I became the deputy head afterwards, right? So that one honestly was more of an like impromptu thing. I think I was doing one of the PME sessions, and then the previous head just like did a quick check, like who's interested in taking my role when I leave, and I was like, oh, I'm interested. I didn't really put much thought into it, to be honest. It's more of an impromptu, and then things got serious, then that's when I actually took up the position. But for me, of course, while I'm saying that all this is like impromptu, of course, I guess I'm a bit more intentional. At that point in time, I already was probably through PME, like the third or fourth session, and I really learned so much. I thought PM was something I don't mind doing as a career for like the rest of my life probably. So I knew that it's something I wanted to pursue after graduation, and I guess it makes sense at that time to kind of just like further my time in Product Club and I guess the best way for me is to take on a leadership position. In terms of resume, that's one. I think secondly is also like personal growth, cause though the team is small, like 4 people, I think being a leader has its own set of considerations. There's also new things to learn as a curriculum executive and as a deputy head. The responsibility is different, so I think I kind of just wanted to step out of my comfort zone and just try something new. So that's mostly the reasons why.
Thanks for sharing. Would you like to share with us your journey into taking up the leadership role of president?
So for president, I would say I have 2 reasons. So first is I've really gotten a lot from the club. I would say that joining Product Club is actually probably one of my most like pivotal moments in my whole 4 years of university career-wise. I'll say as much as probably my internships, because this was really the first step for me into product management. So this is where I actually learned like some fundamentals like what's product strategy, what is even user research about. So I wanted to kind of like contribute back to the community and to like help juniors I guess engage in what product management is and to also learn like I did. And my second reason is because as a product manager, like this time when I go up to the workforce, right, you're kind of like the manager, but not really as well. I think PMs, they lead kind of like, you know, they don't report to you, right? Like the designers, engineers. So to be able to lead well and to guide the whole team and align everyone to the same product strategy, same product vision, I think it requires some sort of leadership. Not the authority kind, because they don't report to me, but it's more like I can trust this person to make like the correct decisions. And I think being president of the club helps me to pick up some leadership skills, helps me to hone these skills. So skills like conflict resolution, EQ, communication skills, those I guess there isn't really a better way to pick up all these leadership skills other than being in a leadership position. That's why I wanted to once again just like kind of step out of my comfort zone and try this out. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing with us your motivation behind taking up leadership roles. It sounds like it has been a very fulfilling journey for you so far. Next, Claire, do you mind sharing with us what were some of your greatest rewards and challenges so far in NUS Product Club?
I think for rewards, as president now, because I oversee a lot of the events or workshops that we plan, I think it's really when people come to me and tell me that, oh, I've learned a lot or I enjoyed my time. So this can be from students who attended our workshops, like more recently was the Figma workshop one, and then also product managers who tell me that, oh, this is like a cool event and they enjoyed their time. So this was actually at the Product Run Club event that we hosted like 3 weeks ago. So I think that's very rewarding that people see value from the events that we host, be it from the student population or from the product community as well. And going on to challenges, I would say that a lot of operational challenges such as like acquiring venues in school, that it's very hard. I think this is like compounded by the fact that PME was 7 sessions long. So this meant that we had to source for 7 extra sessions in the semester itself, in the first half of the sem itself. So that was pretty challenging for the team, especially our ops team. And the next challenge would be, I think, people management. Because I think we're a student club, so I would say sometimes there isn't much of an incentive for people to actually like really commit and dedicate their time, which I understand, but because of that, it's hard when people, they ghost or they kind of like don't follow up with their responsibilities. So I guess as president, sometimes I have to step in and kind of like give them a warning and stuff. But then also I'm kind of non-confrontational, so I really don't like to do that. But it's like a necessary evil. So I would say like these are the two challenges. So the first would be the operational side of things, like acquiring venues in school. Like for some reason, NUS is really difficult as a non-faculty club. And then second would be like the people side of things. The people management. Yep. So that's my answer.
Thank you so much for sharing. Now, moving on to the next segment, Claire, could you share with us some of the internships you've done so far, as well as any other relevant exposure to PM that you have benefited from?
So I'm currently doing my 4th internship. My first one was project management. Then I have one which is data analyst, and then the other two are in product. You might find the data analyst one a bit kind of like sticking out like a sore thumb, but that's because I felt that I didn't really have data background other than like 2 modules in school. So I really wanted to get some working experience. I guess mainly just to get a bit more accustomed to like dealing with large data sets, and also mainly brushing up my SQL. So I would say those are my internship experiences. As to what I learned, I guess over the past 2 to 3 years of interning and being in product club, maybe I have 2 takeaways. So the first is product management can get very operational sometimes. So I think there are 2 types of features. The first one is very maybe like engineering dependent. Could be like AI stuff. That one is very engineering heavy, but there's also the very operational business heavy stuff. So when I was a TA for PME last year, my group's initial idea was Airbnb helpline kind of thing. So the concept they were going for is there can be some like technical failures in maybe your aircon or like the heater's not working, that kind of thing. And they wanted to provide a helpline to provide a helpline for the person staying so they can call. Well, it serves like a very huge pain point, right? I guess like there's a lot of operational stuff to think about. So the first is how you gonna match people? Like, is there even enough servicemen to really like support your user base? The second is also like how about places which are a bit more secluded? Like as a PM, like how you gonna ensure that there's enough to even like supply? The third one's also like the legal side. Cannot sure if it's legal, but like who's gonna pay? So if the user is the one that actually like spoil the device, then they say, oh, it's the owner's fault. Then how you gonna like walk through all these like operational intricacies? So this is actually like pretty hard. I'm talking about in the context of PME, right? The 6 weeks course. So while I guess it could be possible for Airbnb to actually explore this feature, it's just very operationally hard, and I think the team like dropped the idea and they move on to another idea in the end. So that's one. I think it's to not to kind of downplay the business side of things sometimes. Then the second would be the importance of user research. So I learned this first during PME. I think the first 2 sessions, Jason was really iterating about the importance of user research and importance of understanding your user pain points, user behavior, their needs and preferences. I think now I also see it in my work. For instance, like in Wiki, we have a team of UX researchers, and their job is actually like super important. So, like I mentioned just now, like user research will help you to understand user behavior. But I think if you extrapolate this, it also informs like your product strategy, because your product strategy is dependent on what your users want. So, for instance, like at Wiki, it's only through user research that we found out that a certain market of our users likely wouldn't go on to be paid subscribers. So Wiki has like a freemium model kind of thing. We have the free one. How we earn revenue is through advertisements like YouTube, and the second one is the paid one. So I guess as a company, ideally you want to focus on the paid group of subscribers because they help you gain the most revenue. But then I realized that um, there's this certain country, large group of users, but Wiki doesn't choose to support them like the SVOD, which is subscribers. They go on the advertising free model. So I was curious, so I asked like, oh, why is it the case? Like, why is it that you have like the biggest group of users here, or like one of the largest, but you are not focusing on the subscription model for them? So I think it's through that I found out that it's because of user research, and they found out that these users are actually not willing to pay at all, because I guess it's just like the economic, um, like maybe they are not as wealthy, so when it comes to entertainment they don't really prioritize. But because of that and because of user research, we found out like their needs, preferences, their pain points, and we realized that, or actually as like an overarching strategy, like product strategy, it makes sense to not prioritize the subscription, but to actually just like push forth the normal free model to this specific group of users. So I think that just shows how important user research is. If not, you're kind of like going down the wrong trajectory and wasting a lot of time and resources as well. So that's what I learned from my experience so far.
Thanks, Claire, for sharing with us so many points that I'm sure many of us would find beneficial in our journey in PM. Next, could you just share with us your final tips or advice for students who are interested in beginning their journey in product management?
Okay, sure. So I have two tips. The first is to go and learn Chinese, because a lot of fresh grad entry level roles, like those companies are mostly China companies. So Shopee, like OKX, Binance, and their engineering team is mostly Chinese and they speak Mandarin. So it'll help if you know how they're fluent in Chinese, can speak and can communicate. It just makes everything easier. The second one would be PM is more of a generalist role. I feel like some people get very fixated on the software engineering part. Like they're very worried that they don't have a technical background, and it's very hard for them to like pick up the technical terms or to communicate with engineers, which is a fair point. But I think because PM is generalist, don't get too fixated on whether you know how to code. You can also look towards like the UX side of things, like UI UX, learning how to do Figma. Maybe not picking up Figma per se, but it's more of understanding users. The second will also be data. Once again, not learning how to code SQL, but it's more of developing understanding of data, appreciation for data. For instance, like you have to go and track product metrics. So it's not asking you to go to the data set, the database, and go and like do the joins yourself in SQL. It's more of knowing what questions to ask and what data will help to answer your questions in terms of impact sizing or in terms of like tracking product performance. So I think these are my two main tips. Maybe go and brush up on Mandarin if you are Chinese. Second would be to go and improve yourself in like various aspects. Like don't be limited to just the engineering side of things, because while it's very important, I guess PM is like a lot more than just engineering. There's also data, UX, there's even marketing and sales. So just continue improving, don't just fixate on the software engineering side. Yeah,
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for coming to the end of this episode of Lorong Product. Click here to see more of our previous episodes.